Salutations, my friends, and I just want the gameplay to speak for itself for a little bit here, okay? Except for when I'm within melee range. Okay, this is Vaal Power Siphon. This is Power Siphon. Power Siphon, I haven't clicked Vaal Power Siphon yet. But you would call it Vaal Power Siphon because that's, I guess, what you call any skill showcase of a skill that has a Vaal variation, even if I'm not using it. This is Power Siphon / Vaal Power Siphon. I'm going to run another map. Let's just run like a random... I was running Curec missions, I'm sorry. Here, I'll run a boss, so that way we can at least get like some kind of single target showcase. Check this out though, dude. This is Vaal Power Siphon. I slotted in a level 1 trap and mine damage. I've been leveling it. It's got my other supports other than energy shield leech. So other than energy shield leech and awakened elemental damage with attacks, we have the Vaal Power Siphon build that I just made a build guide for, and I respect a bit on the tree. So like obviously I went out of leech. I grabbed 2 extra power charges. We are still on the Ralakesh's impatient setup, so I'm not using Soul Drinker because I'm using mines. I'm not leeching. I respec some nodes. I got into Saboteur. That's all we're doing, right? This is definitely unoptimized. I'm still int stacking. I think int stacking does work though. I guess let me give some context for this. Okay. This guy commented, does this work if I put Locus Mine just to double check the siphon, or just to double the siphon? And he typed that, and it like sent me on this massive rabbit hole where my mind exploded, and I was like, of course, mines. And so I've been testing Locus Mine with Vaal Power Siphon because actually, as it turns out, Locus Mine is quite the nutty gem when you think about it. It's got this stupid stipulation. I shouldn't say stupid, it's part of the gem. It's got this stipulation whereby if a mine is within 3 meters of you, it cannot be detonated. This is annoying, meaning you basically just cannot have a melee type playstyle, and you know, you'll have situations where you're clearing, where you throw, shield charge, throw, shield charge. You got to make sure you're throwing kind of far enough ahead in front of you to where the mines, at least one of the 3 mines that Locus Mine throws, because Locus Mine, this is one of the cool things about Locus Mine, is it automatically comes with 2 additional mines. So just baseline fact of the gem, of the gem that you're using to support Locus Mine, is it comes with +2 mines. So you throw the 1 mine as like regular, say you have blast chain or high impact mine support, that's going to give you 1 mine. Well, Locus Mine, cool thing about Locus Mine is it only supports attacks, but it comes with a built-in +2 mines. And here's another really cool thing about it that I had to, you got to get on the wiki, you got to, PoE is a really complicated game. You've got 3 different skill gem supports for mines in this game. When people say things like, oh, I don't want to get into the mines archetype, or mines are confusing to me, I don't really understand it. That's what they mean, right? Why are there 3 different mine support gems, GGG? Well, the reason is because they all do slightly different things. Certainly, the Locus Mine is very different from the blast chain and the high impact mine support gems, because Locus Mine, again, only focuses on attacks, however, comes built in with +2 mines, and this is nutty. The supported skills deal less damage. This, for Blast Chain or High Impact Mine, is like, the supported skills deal less damage multiplier scales down quite significantly for Locus Mine. And I'm going to demonstrate this by comparing it to High Impact Mine. So High Impact Mine, like I said, starts off at 35, scales down to 28. Well, Locus Mine, I don't know what it starts off at. It doesn't really matter, because as we see from just the level 20, the level 21 gem that I have right here, it scales down to 10% less damage. Starts off at 30, scales down to 11% less damage, or 10 if you have level 21. That's insane. So basically, the way you have to think about this, if we're just thinking about scaling our damage, is if I have a skill, an attack like Power Siphon, and I just attach a Locus Mine support gem to it, this support gem alone at level 21 is kind of like a +2, like, casts of the ability. So kind of like a 3x multiplier, or a 2x multiplier. Like it takes your gem and it increases the number of casts that you do per activation of the ability. It increases it, it multiplies it by 3. You go from casting the ability 1 time to casting the ability 3 times, because I throw 3 mines out instead of just 1 instance of the ability. So it's kind of like a 3x multiplier, and the 10% less damage is so it's like a 270% more multiplier is the way that I read this gem. Somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong. Locus Mines is a 270% more multiplier to Vaal Power Siphon. And I just want to demonstrate that running a map. I know I took all this explanation, but like, let's just run through a map, right? You've seen the build in the showcase. There's some awkward elements to it where, again, you throw the mines and they don't want to activate if they're super close to you. So I have to make sure I'm a little bit further away. But just like, does this not just shred? Does this not just decimate? And again, you know, tier 16, Pit of the Chimera, is it tier 17 viable? Okay, look, I'm going to hit the lab for a bit, and I'll come back and I'll see if I can't find or build something that's tier 17 viable here for you guys, because I truly think there's some potential here. Look at this. This is enjoyable, quite frankly. I thought regular Power Siphon had a cozy and comfy play style, but this is well, this is Mines, dude. This is Mines Power Siphon, and of course we do still have the Vaal version. Vaal does come with I'm using it, you can't really see it. Vaal Power Siphon is kind of lame. It looks pretty much the exact same as regular Power Siphon. It's not lame as an ability though. And in fact, Vaal Power Siphon is really nice as a mine, because the animation for Vaal Power Siphon, let's check a little DPS check here. See if we can't just explode him. Can it explode? You have to walk away. I think we just instantly phased him. Again, there's this awkward, I cannot stress enough that it's something you gotta adjust to, and it's definitely something that makes it like not as like I can, like, this is the one big downside of the build is Locus Mines does have this, you have to be 3 meters away from your target for them to activate, but the damage is just kind of absurd. Like insta-phased again. I'm insta-phasing bosses. I think I want to check the damage, but basically if I'm reading this gem correctly, and you can see the amount of mines I'm able to keep up, the uptime on my mines is pretty high here. We are basically insta-phasing bosses. Like I didn't get the chat. What I need to do is just run this against like either Shaper and then test Uber. But every single one of these mines is basically just a cast of Power Siphon. So if he would spawn and I would walk far enough away from my mines so that they would all just proc on him at once, that would be like a 17x instance of Power Siphon being cast. Is the way I understand it. With the 10% less multiplier, sure. Yeah. And there it is. This is pretty sick. I think this is sick. The weapon has the adds lightning damage to attacks with this weapon per. I was reading into this. I'm pretty sure this applies. So even though it says attacks with this weapon deal this flat added lightning damage, I think this applies to the Locus Mines, the way that it works, because I think we are minifying the way Power Siphon works when it's getting supported by Locus Mines is we're turning it into a mine, but those mines are still using our base stats, our base skills, our base weapon to roll its attacks. So the mines have the chance to deal double damage. The mines have the chance to deal so not the chance to deal, but the mines are using my increased spell damage stat on my character, which is also getting converted to increased attack damage by Crown of Eyes on my character. Like, I'm pretty sure mines are using literally everything that my character does as they normally do. This isn't anything new for mines. But just a little bit, I guess, a lesson on mines is I'm pretty sure that every single benefit for my character, like I'm doing the int stacking thing, I'm pretty sure that's still benefiting my mines. I'm doing the power charge stacking thing, I know that's still benefiting my mines. Speaking of that, I am not stacking, I'm not using charge mines as a support gem. Why the fuck would I use charge mines? It would give me mine throw speed, to be fair. But what do we need that for when we're throwing 3 mines in activation? And the main thing that we care about is scaling damage in the moon, which charge mines does not do all that well, because it unfortunately, I don't know why I thought it did, and maybe it did and it got nerfed, but it does not come with a multi. Let me check actually. Charge mines PoE. Did this used to give, instead of crit strike chance, did this used to give multi? No, it never did. I'm crazy. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking about. But anyway, what am I getting sidetracked? I should run another boss real quick. I just want to see a boss that hopefully, yeah, Hydra is got like 2 phases, so we'll get more of a DPS check, because the thing is, you check the tooltip and it says 500, it says 500k, and that doesn't look like an improvement. But of course, that's per mine, so it's actually nutty when you consider that I'm casting 3 of these every time I click T, and if I just hold T standing still, I can cast probably 2.5 per second. So the actual DPS is quite absurd. Right, because this is just the damage. This is the average damage. So my DPS, my average DPS is probably just higher than it was on the self-cast config right now. Like literally, and you guys didn't see any of the changes I was making before, but like, look at my character. I still have a Vessel of the Vinctor for Christ's sake. I don't think I'm keeping that, right? A big draw of Vessel of Vinctor is it comes with all this leech, and leech is completely wasted on mines. I don't know if you guys knew this. Again, this channel is oriented towards new players. Leech does not work on, oh wait, this is just like a naturally farm. Yeah, this is a naturally spawning ritual. I did not use, yeah, because this is Keurig missions. You cannot leech from mines or traps or minions, because the quickest way to be wrong in a game like PoE is just to speak in absolutes. I'm going to put it this way, because I think actually this patch, there was some tech released that gives you leech granted by your minions. So I'm just going to put it this way. And I can't speak to the absolution of mines and totem, or mines and totem. I think there is such thing as totem leech. Like, you can leech from the damage that your totems deal. So I'm just going to put it this way. I am not aware of any form of mine or trap leech. And if there is, then please point it out to me. But without that form of recovery, we are still tanky as balls. We're Trickster for Christ's sake. I was looking for a way to trade in damage for tankiness anyways, or tankiness for damage, I guess. But I don't even think I need to give up that much survivability. I can switch over to a mine focused config. Who knows? Maybe I can stack 800 or 600 dexterity and slot in a curtain call. I don't even know. The sky's really the limit for the character now, because, well, the damage is not that impressive right now when we're trying to single target down, because I think we instantly phased. I shouldn't say instantly phased, but yeah, okay, look, this is good. This is good. Let that be a demonstration. This character's, I want to take this character into a tier 17 now. Like, we just made such a nasty improvement on this character, and all it took was some dude just randomly messaging me a comment on my channel. Does this work if I put in Locus Mine? Listen, you get a love, you get a thumbs up, a like, pin. I'm gonna post this video. I don't even know if you're watching my content, you Colt Litro, but your idea to use Locus Mines with Power Siphon was so ingenious that this is the new build. I'm gonna focus on this. This is the build now. I'm gonna focus on a league start version of this. This is my build. I'm gonna make this a big thing. Just fucking spread the word. Tell your mom. Tell your friends. This is insane. I feel like I stumbled on something great here. Locus Mines with Power Siphon. We're making this a thing. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love all of you. And sure enough, with just some rough pop numbers, with a very, I cannot stress this enough, I did not optimize this tree whatsoever for the build, with like the one exception that I unspecc'd. What did I unspec? I unspec'd this lightning wheel for this, and I took this somehow. I unspec'd some part that made absolutely, yeah, I unspec'd Clever Thief. So with exception that I unspec'd the very obvious nodes, for some very obvious nodes, we now hit 62 million full DPS just with 10 mines thrown out. So with 10 mines thrown out, we are throwing 3 mines a cast. We at least cast more than 1 wave of mines a second. I know that. The current iteration of the build is doing oh, sorry, we're not using awakened elemental damage with attacks. We are using trap and mine damage, and this is not by choice. This is because we are using replica higher desire, and it's a bitch to freaking color. So we're not using it at level 20. I'm gonna be fair, although it's eventually gonna be level 20. So yeah, look at this. We are 61 mil. This is incredible. I've got to say, if I've calculated this correctly, and you guys are smart, I know you guys are smart out there. People that play this game are really smart. You guys will correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm pretty sure I've configured this right? We are, again, I'm just in game here. Locus Mines, throwing them out pretty quickly. They fan out. In a single target scenario, I'm pretty sure I will have all of my mines triggering if I'm like at a certain sweet spot away from enemies. They'll be throwing out in waves of 3, but I should be I should probably be throwing somewhere between 7.5 to like 8 per second. So I think maybe 9 to 10 is like a fair estimate. And if that is the case, I think my DPS is actually like 54 mil with this pretty generous config for myself. I put 30 shock, but other than that, I took out the sigil of power, replaced that with detonate mines, so I'm no longer having a sigil of power conditional damage situation set up. There's nothing Pob Warrior-y about that. We do have shock, we do have expos, we do still have intimidate. Wait, hold up. Do I still have intimidate? Hold up. Is this me? Chance to intimidate on hit. I mean, that's chance to intimidate on hit. That applies to my mines. So yeah, I still have, so my calculations should be like just bare bones, nothing like if I'm hitting something for more than a second, expose is going to proc from my lightning pen, and this should be everything. I'm not leeching anymore. Yeah, this is the config. This is a very respectable 55 mil DPS. If this is correct, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I unspec this, interesting, because I was thinking about taking Spellbreaker. If Swift-Killer really isn't that much damage, maybe you go Spellbreaker instead. I don't know. Spellbreaker's kind of insane, but anyways, that's it. That mines, literally just mines, that simple, just mines. Lol, XD, forehead.